Stay tuned and let's take a closer look at these 3 Marvel Legends Heralds of Galactus. Pow, and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, it's Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. And remember, you can now hit that join button and become a channel member as well. Either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. Today, we are taking a closer look at these 3 Heralds of Galactus: Silver Surfer, Morg, and Frankie Raye, Nova. Now, these 3 figures came separately with the Marvel Legends Haslab Galactus that has just arrived in the UK. Go and check out my full unboxing and review of Galactus on the channel right now. And spoiler alert, I really like him. He is epic, but I wanted to give these 3 figures the justice and time they deserve, as for the very first time in our Marvel Legends collection, we are adding Morg and Frankie to our shelves, and they are Heralds of Galactus, so it just makes sense. Now, Silver Surfer is a reissue from the Walgreens exclusive version that came out a good few years ago now, but I'm sure many people missed out on him, and it would have been disappointing to get Galactus and not have Silver Surfer, like his favourite Herald, to display with him. So I don't mind that re-release, but I will do a quick comparison in this video. But we don't just get the figures, they do come with a few accessories. So Silver Surfer comes with his surfboard, of course, a display piece that attaches to his to Galactus's hand, and some interchangeable hands, and his own little cosmic effect as well. And Frankie comes with her own fire effect piece, which again Galactus can hold, and she also comes with a couple of sets of hands. So yeah, this is nice. So again, I wanted to give these figures the time they deserve. So let's take a look at these individually, but I'm sorry, I'm biased. I'm going to take a look at first Morg. Now, the reason I was biased is because Morg was easily my most anticipated out of these 3 heralds. Not only is he a figure we haven't got for our collection, I just really like his character design here, and I like the facial expression they've chose for him. It's sort of like a cocky, evil, arrogant pose, and that's part of the reason why Galactus liked him in the first place, as he didn't show any fear when he first encountered Galactus. And yeah, this face sculpt definitely gives that sort of cocky, evil grin. I really like it. The teeth are really standing out against the darkness of the face as well. Even the eyes have a bit of white in there with the red pupils, so it stands out against the dark maroon face. And there's definitely some shading on the skin tone as well, which I didn't anticipate. But all of those boils and bumps are all individually like sculpted, so bravo, looking really good on the head there as well. The hair piece is attached to the back. If I spin it around, it's definitely got some shadowing in there. It's definitely a dark grey sort of shadowing rather than the lights creating that, so they're definitely put some effort, and it sort of lays down his back as well. Now, it will hinder him looking up, of course, but he can still look down, no problem at all. But yeah, all in all, that looks great. But I really like the sort of textured design of the character of Morg, and that same design continues throughout the rest of the body. All of these pieces are raised on the skin. This is all uniquely sculpted pieces for Morg, which is really nice. And as I said, the actual base skin tone has got a dark wash to it, which makes all of these bumps look a little bit more glossy under my light. So there is a definite contrast to the bumps than there is to the skin, which I really like. And again, I hope it's coming across on camera. We've got some spikes up on the shoulders there as well, on this side too. And just all in all, really liking that. Even under the hair, they didn't skimp, and there's that same sort of pattern and bumpedness. And yeah, it's just really nice. Now, in regards to the rest of him, he's got these chrome sort of pieces on the gauntlets that have these spikes on either end, which are really nice. He can use these as weapons himself. It matches the piece on the crotch, which is like a doubles up as a belt piece. You can see it around there on the side. That nicely hides the ball joint as well, as instead of an ab crunch to break, because an ab crunch would have broken up this really nice textured skin, they've put a ball joint at the actual waist, so that's where you get your swivel, and it also gives you a little bit of movement forward and back. Not a lot, but I actually don't mind sacrificing that movement for like a better aesthetic action figure, and I think that's the choice they have went for as well. His trousers are all black, and then his boots match the chrome of the gauntlets and his sort of belt piece. Again, they've got some nice spikes on as well, and with some funky designs. Now, in regards to articulation for Morg, real quick, he's got nice range considering how big he is. Now, it looks like there's a butterfly joint because there's a lot of gap there at the shoulder, and there is a little bit of wiggle there, but it's not. They've just made it spacious so you get a lot of movement. So the shoulders will go up to 90. Those spikes, as you can can see, will not hinder that at all. There is a bicep swivel, and then as I said, look at this, double jointed elbows. He can touch his shoulder, no problem at all, and there's a hinge in the actual wrist as well. So liking that. Only one set of hands for Morg, but they're both gripping hands for his axe, which I'll show you in a second. As I said, that's where you get your swivel there at the waist, and a little bit of forward and back, but not a lot. But I don't mind it, at least we get the swivel. Moving down to the legs, we've got the swivel at the thigh. The legs will go out about that much. As I said, double jointed knees as well, but they are unfortunately hindered by the boot design. If the design of the boot wasn't like this, I assume he'd be able to kick his own ass, but they are double jointed pinless knees, liking that. And then again, the boots have ankle pivot and rocker, as you would expect. Legs go out about that much, and they go forward about that much. That's pretty high, to be fair, for Morg. Like, he can do a big boot. So yeah, all in all, people, really liking Morg. The character design is beautiful. There's more detail in the paint than I initially thought, more on the front than the back, which is usually the case with Legends, but I don't mind the sort of marbleization on the chrome. It sort of glimmers under the lights. I like it, and yeah, he looks great. As I mentioned, Morg was an executioner on his planet, so he has and he wields this giant double-bladed axe, which is made in that same sort of chrome sort of paint that his body armor is in, and then it's got a black handle as well. I don't think we've seen this before. I think this is brand new, and of course, he can hold it no problem at all. He can actually hold it with both hands. As I said, even though there's not a butterfly joint there, there's enough gap where you can get his arms really in there. So yeah, he can double wield it, of course, or he's got two gripping hands, so he can literally hold it in either hand, no issues at all. Really good, and I just like it, the sort of like natural sort of holding it over the shoulder pose, like he's ready for battle. But yeah, this Morg is really well done. Definitely my favorite of the three figures already. Now, I'll do some more comparisons at the end, but I did just want to give you a quick sense of scale. So here we have Morg compared to a couple of cosmic army builders with the scrolls, and I forgot to get the tape measure out, and people get mad at me when I forget to do that. So here we have my tape measure, and as you can see, Morg is about 6 3/4, so not quite 7 inches, but he is still going to be taller and thicker than your average Marvel Legend, and look imposing on a display, undoubtedly. Really like this guy. Next up, let's look at Frankie Raye, aka Nova, as she is the other new character we are adding to our collection thanks to this Galactus Haslab, and she looks great. Thankfully, they are using the new double jointed pinless female Shriek body, so it's on the best female body currently available to us. She is all gold, but it is all about this head sculpt. So first up, you got the whited out eyes, the black outline, the eyebrows, and a little bit of red for the lips, but it is all about this massive head of hair. You've just got to imagine that her hair is on fire, and look at that, it literally goes all the way down her back. So there it is, really nice translucent orange with some yellow in there, and it is translucent, so the lights will sort of shine through it and create some other lights on the display, but it goes all the way down her back, so it will hinder her looking up, of course, but she can still look down. She does have the disc and hinge in there, so maybe you could sort of take the head off and pull that back if you wanted her looking up, but I don't mind her looking straight because I'm going to have Galactus holding her on display anyway. First female Herald, if I remember correctly, but yeah, looking really good here. That hair has so much like detail in it, like it genuinely looks like flames. Really good. You can't really see it all on camera, but in person the texture is all there for sure. So yeah, looking great. And then the body is just all gold. It is a pinless, double jointed gold female body, so you sort of know the range to expect with this. You get the diaphragm ball joint there, so you get a little bit of movement, rotation there. Shoulders will go all the way up to 90, double jointed elbows, which is what we love to see, adds for so much more expression and range. Legs will go out a little bit, bicep swivel at the thigh, legs go out pretty far to be fair, and then double jointed knees are pretty good. She can kick her own ass no problem, ankle pivot and rocker, so she looks great. But to be honest, I'm just going to have her posed up on the accessory piece that comes with her, which I'll get to in a second, but we do have options with hands. So she comes with a set of open palm expressive hands, which I really like, but we have a couple of pairs. She comes with a set of fisted hands as well, and a set of gripping hands. Now, she doesn't have anything to hold, but it is nice to have options all the same. Never going to complain about that. And a quick comment on the actual gold body here. It is made out of that sort of marbleization plastic, but I can't see a lot of marbleization on mine, and it sort of creates different shades of gold depending on how the light hits it. So yeah, I really like it. No complaints with that at all. But she does come with this big accessory piece. So much like her hair, it is made of a translucent orange with some yellow paint throughout it. And because it's translucent, when the light hits it, it does create different tones and shades. And overall, really nice. And it's nice and sizey as well. Like, it isn't small. As you can see in there, there's like a little footprint. Like, if I zoom in a little bit, you can see that sort of hollow section. That is where you put her foot, and her leg will slide through that gap there. And it will literally hold her in place. So if I get Frankie here, we can slide her leg in like so, and then her foot will literally rest in that little hollow position. So you can get her posed up for a display. So there you go. Hopefully that comes across. That is where her foot sits, and you can see it holds her foot in there, no problem at all. Now, of course, in my video I showed you Galactus holding this, but I wanted to show you, you can use it as a separate display piece somewhere else in your collection, as it is sturdy enough and strong enough to literally hold up Frankie on her own. Like, you can literally just pick that up and move it around on your display. Now, the foot will fall out of that place a little bit, but once you pose her upright, you can move around. And it is nice to have those display options, because not everyone is going to want her being held by Galactus, and it still spruces up the display a little bit as well. So yeah, really like how this came out. I appreciate the effect piece to go with Frankie. She looks great. So like Morg, I want to give you a quick sense of scale, but we'll do some more comparisons at the end. Here we have her next to another Herald of Galactus, Fire Lord, as for some reason it just made sense. Both of these are very fiery individuals. And then we have a Skrull army builder as well, sort of your average legend. Now, she does stand up on her own, but I have to admit it's a little bit difficult with that heavy hair, so you need your balance game on point. But if I get out the tape measure and don't knock her over, you can see the hair actually takes her to about 6.5, just under 6.5, because the hair is really thick. So there you go. That is your sense of scale for Nova. Finally, let's take a closer look at this Silver Surfer that comes packed with Galactus. Now, we have had this figure before, but there is a little difference. I'll explain in a second. So first, he comes with his surfboard, his interchangeable hands. You get 3 full sets, a purple cosmic effect, and then a purple stand that actually clips on his surfboard, which is a nice touch. This also goes in Galactus's hand. But a lot of people are saying this is exactly the same as the original Walgreens exclusive single packed version, which I have right here. I actually took him off my display. Now, I assure you people, there is a little bit of a difference between the two, and it is in the deco. Let's take a closer look. So here we have our Silver Surfer comparison, and there are definitely differences here that I didn't notice at first. So on the left, we have our brand new Silver Surfer that came with Galactus, compared to the one on the right is the Walgreens exclusive single packed version. Now, first things first, the silvers themselves, the actual chrome deco on both of these are a little bit different. Now, it's really hard for me to explain this if it isn't coming across on camera, but the new one is a little bit brighter. It's like the silver they have chose is it got more of a whiter tint to it compared to the darker silver of the single packed version. Again, I'm explaining that terribly, but you can see the muscle definition of the previous one. It just stands out a little bit more compared to the new one. So there is definitely a difference between the two silver paints that they have chose, for sure. I'll throw them on the spinny table and let them spin around for a second so you can sort of make your own mind up. But I assure you, there is a difference in the chrome paint between these two Silver Surfers. Now, it is so tiny that people won't even notice or even care, but I'm just pointing out the differences here. But there is also another major difference that nobody has been pointing out, or at least I haven't heard. There are different heads. So before I do a comparison of the two heads, let's just take a look at this new head, because it is different. So the facial structure of Silver Surfer here is different. As you can sort of see where his ears would be. There are like sculpted pieces of where his ears would lie within the head structure. Also, the eyes are more white compared to the previous version. There is a little bit of black up there, but definitely more white. And there's no darkness on the lips either. So it's just the white with a little bit of black highlight for the eyes, and then the new structure of the face. So I assure you, it is a new head sculpt. So let me bring in the other one so you can see for yourself that there's definitely a difference there. So first, you can see the blackness of the lips, and the eyes are more noticeable, but also you can see that the previous one had a flat side, where this new one definitely has some sort of facial structure sculpted in there. So yes, confirming new head sculpts and different deco. So after having a little read online, it was announced during the campaign that Paul Hardin sculpted a new head for Silver Surfer. So maybe I read that and forgot, or maybe I didn't see it at all. But either way, now we know the differences. Everything else about this figure, apart from the things I pointed out, are exactly the same, including the set of fisted hands, the set of open palm hands, more expressive, and the set of surfing hands or karate chop hands, whatever you want to call them. The surfboard's the same as well. We only get one peg on the actual surfboard, but we do get peg holes in both of the feet. Now, it would have been great to have 2 pegs on the surfboard so he's a lot more stable when he's on there, but that's what we get. And then with this particular Silver Surfer, we get a purple effect piece. Now, I only got one of these with my Galactus, where the promo images say 2. So I'm curious, anyone out there who has got their Haslab Galactus, how many of these purple effect pieces did you get? I'm curious. I think I've been duped. But we should have all got this brand new effect piece, which again was sculpted by Paul Hardin, which actually clips on the Silver Surfer board, and then Galactus can hold it. So I've showed that off in my Galactus review already, but as you can see, it grips onto the surfboard, and there is actually a ball joint and a bit of a hinge on the end of this, so you can get him all posed up, which is a nice touch. And just like Frankie, you don't have to clip this into Galactus's hand. You can just use it as a standalone effect piece to hold Silver Surfer on his board. Granted, you're going to need to do some balancing act on the shelf to make sure it doesn't topple over, but you can get it to work. I do definitely wish, though, there was 2 pegs on this surfboard. Very quick comparison compared to a couple of scrolls, and then let's get the tape measure out, and you can see that Silver Surfer stands just under 6.5 inches tall, standard Marvel Legends size. And of course, let's take a look at these 3 Heralds of Galactus all together: Silver Surfer, Morg, and Frankie Raye Nova, of course. Now, go and check out my full unboxing and review of Galactus to get a much better look at how he can hold both Silver Surfer and Frankie in his hand for display, and it does make for an epic display. So go and check that out. Today, I just wanted to give you a closer look at these figures and some Heralds of Galactus. But this isn't all we've got in Legends form. And would you look at this crew? Everybody on the table is a former Herald of Galactus. So not only have we got the 3 we've been looking at today, we've also got Firelord at the back, Terrax the Tamer, and the Fallen, who are in the brand new Heralds of Galactus 2-pack that I haven't even reviewed on the channel yet, but I am very happy to add Terrax to my collection, as I never completed that Epic Heroes Build-A-Figure back in like 2012. So that re-release was for someone like me. And then at the back there, we've got the brand new modernized sort of 4 from the recent comics when he was a Herald of Galactus, with the powers of Cosmic, of course. So yeah, these guys look great, and what a great starting block for anyone building a Cosmic display who has purchased that Haslab Galactus. So yeah, these look great. Here we have our 3 Heralds compared to the Fantastic Four, who will make another great addition to any Cosmic display. Here we have Frogman, Tigra, and White Rabbit, who are yet to have any Cosmic adventures, but they're game. And last but absolutely never least, here we have Captain Britain and Hal Fire Hank. So, final thoughts on these Marvel Legends Heralds of Galactus that all came included with the Haslab Galactus. Now, I keep saying it, but go and watch my full unboxing and review video of Galactus up on the channel now, where you can see these guys posed up with Galactus, and I promise you, they look epic. I just wanted to give these figures a closer look and give them their due in a separate video, rather than skimming over them in the previous one, as there's some great figures, as we've got an updated version of Silver Surfer, and then we're getting, for the very first time in our Marvel Legends collection, Morg and Frankie Raye Nova. And you know me, it's all about that world building, adding new characters to the display, and these 2 are great representations from page to plastic. So I'm very happy. But as always, people, you let me know in the comments below, what do you think of these figures? What other Heralds from the comics are we missing now in figure form? There's still a couple. Let me know in the comments below. I'm just going to throw one out there. Airwalker, that would be great, but you let me know. And as always, if you like Marvel Legends, then you're in the right place. Check out the videos tab, find the playlists, but most importantly, please hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, don't miss out on a video, and please hit that join button, become a channel member, either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. And as always, people, you can follow me on Instagram, it's Dan Who, and I'm on Twitter as well. Tweet me, don't be shy, at Dan Who Reviews. And until then, my name is Dan W, and I will, of course, see you on the next one.